Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Lisi with From the Gate Podcast, and today the topic is about shame. Today's topic that I'm talking about is shame, and that's something that I know that everyone has experienced at one point in time in their lives, whether it's because you didn't reach a certain accolade or you didn't finish something, and shame is an internal battle that I have battled probably my entire life. And I remember the very first time I experienced shame, I had lied to my parents and I told them, I'm going to be doing something special in my 8th grade graduation. I just kind of let them think that it was me giving a valedictorian speech because I didn't want to fully tell them the truth about it. I just kind of gave them a cupcake lie, I guess you could say. And so, or white lie, that's the normal term for it, is white lie. But, we can be cupcakes. It's fine. We can cupcake it all we like it, huh? But anyways, so I told my parents that I had something special. I was going to do a special part in the 8th grade graduation ceremony, but really it was just me doing a sign language song and leading my class's sign language song. And yes, they were disappointed that I didn't get the A in class or whatever. And I always strived for that. That was something I always did. I've always done something to make my parents proud or make my parents happy. And growing up as a Polynesian, that's pretty much what you strive for, is to make your parents happy or to make your parents proud. Because that's the last thing you want to do, is be a disappointment to your parents. And I remember feeling so much shame. As exciting as it was to graduate 8th grade and whatnot, I do remember feeling the shame where my mom was like, "Oh, I thought you were going to become valedictorian," or "I thought you were going to do valedictorian because you said you had a special part in the graduation ceremony." And I just felt like I let my mom down. And this has been a continuous pattern that has constantly happened throughout my life, starting from then up until now. And a lot of times we experience shame in different ways, whether it's shame because of how our body looks, shame because of where we are emotionally, shame because of certain situations that we didn't meet expectations. And I feel like a lot of the shame comes from not meeting the expectations of others, not meeting the expectations of our family, not meeting the expectations of our friends. A lot of times I feel like I'm a horrible friend because I don't talk to my friends as much as I should. I don't check up on my friends as much as I should. And so a lot of times I feel like I fail them in that aspect. Or even success-wise, for so long, I equated success with money for the longest time. And while, yes, money does kind of play a part in that, that's not what success is. And having to learn how to reframe my mind and reframe the way that I think about these things that society has taught me, and changing what it is that society has taught in order to to work on myself and to do the inner work on myself, so I don't live a life of shame. And so I don't live a life where I feel like I'm ashamed of who I am and I'm ashamed of the person that I was. And I know that even during my time when I was Miss American Samoa, as exciting as it was to carry that title, with that title there came a lot of hurt as well, only because there were certain things that I would do and I felt like I was ashamed to my country. So there was a time where I had gotten an alleged DUI and it was blasted all over social media. And there were a lot of people that were talking shit, basically. And when I read those comments, it just made me feel worse about myself. And I felt that shame to the point where it crippled me. I didn't want to go out anymore. I didn't want to be seen by the public. I didn't want to go to any family functions. I didn't want to go to hang out with my friends. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to lock myself in my house and cry, and that's it. And just completely enjoy my pity party to myself. And then I realized from there, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I allowing what other people's opinions are and what other people are saying to influence me and what I'm doing? There are so many different things. And then even moving to the US, I had this expectation on myself. I'm going to come to America. I'm going to make something of myself. I'm going to start my blog. And then when I got to America, it was completely different from what I had imagined. And then I put my blog on the back burners. I put my desire for creating content on the back burners. It became one of those things where I only did it when I felt like it, or I only did it when I felt inspired. Because inspiration, as wonderful as it is, it comes and goes. A lot of times I would ask myself, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? And I would reevaluate and question. And a lot of times when I looked at what did I do wrong or where did I go wrong, I start to punish myself and I start to blame myself and I start to just self-inflict feelings of hurt and anger and bitterness. And then I would cut off talking to my mom, I cut off talking to my dad, I cut off talking to my brothers, I cut off talking to my best friend and all my homegirls, because I was so ashamed to talk to them, because I felt like I had nothing worth living for. I didn't feel fulfilled in my life. Even I started working for YMCA, and even there I didn't feel fulfilled, because that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what made me happy. What made me happy is going to coffee shops, going and traveling to different places, going and experiencing a different side of the world from what I see on YouTube and on TV and everything, and experiencing the world the way it's meant to be experienced, walking through the cities, going and talking to different people, meeting people at whether it's a coffee shop or a bar, just living and not being stuck in the 9-to-5 box. And I wanted so bad to be out of the 9-to-5 box and just being able to create things that make people happy. I love making people happy. I love bringing joy into people's lives. And one of the things that I used to do a lot in order to help me forget about things was I would go on long walks by myself. And I took myself out on a lot of solo dates. And those are the things that made me happy. But things would pop up again where I would feel that shame. And then all of a sudden I found myself doing things in order to get people's attention. And I was just grabbing for attention. I was grabbing for people to like me, to want to do things with me. And I even would play with people's emotions and say things that I didn't really mean, do things that were some things that I wasn't taught to do. And I was raised better not to do it. But I did it anyways. Why? Because I wanted that attention so bad. And I just wanted to feel good about myself. And whenever I would get that attention, it would mask. But I would never talk to the people that would keep it real with me. I would only talk to the people that I knew would like butter me up and make me feel like I was this great person and whatnot. But I never talked to the people that knew the real me, because I didn't want to hear what they had to say. I knew what they would say, and I didn't want to hear it. And I knew they would be the ones to tell me straight on what I needed to do, what I needed to fix, and I didn't want to hear it. I tried to mask the shame over by living in this false euphoria. And it crippled me. I would print out these booklets on how to start your blog, how to start a podcast, how to create content. And I would switch from like business page, personal page, business page, personal page, because I knew that I wanted to create content and I knew I wanted to do this, but I was so ashamed of my past life and what people would think and what people thought of me and the expectations that were placed on me. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that, because then this person is going to think this of me and I'm going to end up disappointing my family if I say something wrong. Let's just say bottom line is, when you try to live up to the expectations of other people and you're not satisfied with yourself and you're not satisfied with the person that you are right now, you're going to end up cutting off the people that keep it the most real with you, that have your back no matter what the situation or the circumstance. And I'm realizing it now. The past 2 years, I've been doing it wrong. When I moved to the US and I thought it was going to be a certain way, and I was like, I'm going to just go and enjoy the life over here in America and do my travel blog and whatnot, and I ended up losing focus. I lost focus because I started pursuing the 9 to 5, which I wanted to get out of. I lost focus because I didn't have the money to do the things that I wanted to do. I lost focus because everyone expected me to find someone and settle down, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for all of that. I wasn't ready to live up to those expectations. I didn't even know I knew what expectations I wanted of myself, but I was so concerned about others' expectations that I forgot about my own. And I think one of the most important things when it comes to addressing shame and when it comes to dealing with the shame that you feel, me personally, me speaking for myself, it starts with focusing on what gives you peace. And I believe that the Lord plays a big part in that because He is the source of joy. He is the source of peace. And I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to try to tell you otherwise, whatever you believe. But I believe in the Lord. I believe in God, and I believe He is the giver of joy, and I believe He is the giver of peace. And when I began to realize, just recently actually, trust me, it's been a battle. My relationship with the Lord has been the battle. Just recently I started realizing how much gratitude for Him and His blessings and the life that we live in, how much that contributes to me feeling at peace, to me being fulfilled, to me feeling like I don't have to be ashamed anymore. I don't have to feel this shame that I've allowed to shackle me for so long. I don't have to feel this shame or feel this unfulfillment in my life that I've allowed to control me for so long. And once I came to that realization, there's a lot of things that I used to do that would help. And I noticed it would help me. I would write in my journal. I would focus on what it is that I wanted to do. I would read and read about books like Atomic Habits and Living a Purpose-Driven Life. But all of that is useless if you're not willing to apply it to your life. You can read all the books you want. You can write in all the journals that you want. You can take all the walks to clear your mind that you want. But if you're not going to apply it, and if you're not going to do the actual work in order to push yourself forward and to move forward. But it's true what Seth said, that shame will just follow you for the rest of your life, and it's not until you face it head on and you're like, nope, I'm not going to let you control me. I'm not going to let you shackle me anymore. I'm not going to live my life afraid of what others think and afraid of what people are going to say about me. I'm going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to do what brings me peace. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. Protect your peace. It's something I say all the time. Protect your peace. Because only you have the power to protect your peace. Nobody else. I've still got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. I have not ended my battle with shame. But I've still got work to do. I've still got things that need to be done. So I'm going to end this session right here, but we're going to do a part 2 of this where we talk about the other side of shame. What is the other side of shame? You're going to have to listen to side B to figure it out, or to find out, sorry. You're listening to From the Gate Podcasts. I'm Lisi. Deuces.